My people, my people, my people. Yeah, it's boy K to the I to the N to the G, the King himself, and I'm welcoming you once again to G Dynamic. GG Dynamic. Killing me, Igboho or Kanu won't end agitation for good governance. Yeah, I guess we said that. That's Sowore. So the former aspirant for the presidential post, he said killing me. He said killing me or Igbo or Kanu won't end agitation for good governance. That's coming for Sowore. So, well, Sowore, rights activist and a former presidential candidate of African Action Congress, that's ACC, Omoyele Sowore, shares his experience on activism, politics, and other issues with Abiodun Sanusi. He said it is an experience that has lasted more than 30 years. Okay, oh. Said it has been constant harassment, bullying, torture, and abuse because I am one of the few young persons who stood up during the military rule. I stood up fighting against environmental groups in the country, against oil companies. I stood up fighting against corruption by civilian administrations in the country. I stood up against every government in the last 32 years, and I was expelled twice from the university. Okpo. So he has been an human rights activist right from his school days. Okay, let's go. He said, I was in detention 8 times before I left for the United States of America. I got harassed at the airport and I've been detained several times after I returned from the US after 20 years in exile. He said, I've been physically assaulted. A police officer broke my nose and I've been shot at. Hey. My younger brother was murdered under circumstances that are still unexplained to date. Yes, his younger brother was murdered in cold blood, was shot. 2 bullets to the chest. That was last year. A very painful thing. A very painful thing. He said, my bank account was frozen. Social media accounts were created. And attempts were made to destroy Sarah Reporters, a platform that I set up for news reporting. They have come after me in every way they could in the last 32 years. But okay, I believe Baba said, no, just the ordinary, I believe a lot of physical attacks, a lot of spiritual attacks, and he's still surviving, one question I have is like, how is it possible that he has not been deterred by all this? Like he has not been moved. Well, as if he listened to me, he answered, he said, everybody has a purpose, and that purpose is driven by serious conviction. I knew from day one that I was entering into uncharted territory, and I was going to be up against very powerful people in the society, both in the private and public sectors. So I somehow acquitted my mind for it. For instance, when I was in the university, I was up against secret court. Okay, a quick one. I believe this is one of the ways Sowore has been a very, very strong activist. You know, he has been training up himself, like he's training himself up right from the days of university, like he said, against cultists. So he knew what he was going to face in the real world. I'm not saying university is not the real world, but the four walls of the university sometimes can just be a little place of learning and culture. Sorry, just trying to talk about my own school motto, great to hear you. But now he knew that he was going to face more elephants and more wild animals, and he decided, okay, let me train myself. I think I love that. I want to be like Sowore, but I don't want to be chased after. All right. He said, I was up against secret court and the school authorities joined them and almost got me killed in 1994. Kai. I was attacked in broad daylight there. It wasn't just enough to confront them because of their network. They went after me in every considerable way. However, my conviction has driven me this far, and I believe that life must be lived with a good purpose. Hmm. Well, then another question was asked. Maybe he went too far by convening a protest to hashtag the revolution now. So, like, what has he achieved? He answered. He said, I wanted to empower the people in our society to think radically about changing their conditions because I just couldn't believe that after 62 years of independence, after over $1 trillion from the sales of hydrocarbons, crude oil, Nigeria is still in shambles, and we cannot even boast of proper elections. That one is. Bro, so the Yorubas will say, "Oti two boats." He has unscrewed the boat in my head right now. All these things are just so real. They are just so real. He said, when I came back in 2018, I started running for office. Most people did not know that before 2018. I had fought against military rule, participated in all kinds of resistance for distant activities against misrule in Nigeria. So the intention was to mobilize people to go to the barricades to fight off oppression to the point that it became necessary for them to put an end to the people, holding them to ransom in government. That was the intention, and that intention was made known to the government publicly through the media. And it was also made known to those who abducted and detained me. I swore to an affidavit in court in my statement that it was my intention, and it is well known. That one is coming from but brother Sowore, brother Sowore. Some people say Sowore, anyone you want to call it. I just believe. You know, he had this very, let me say, he has a large heart. He has a large heart. There was oh god, you know, all these Twitter guys, also all these Twitter guys, they are just quite funny. They're just quite funny. Someone saw, something happened last year. I think he was shot on his buttocks, and people were just, a lot of messages going around like, what happened? That could that have happened? Why was he shot? I don't know, on the yash. My Igbo people will say on the yash. So some people felt he should have stayed back in the US and enjoyed his life instead of embarking on activism. Like, why don't you just chill? He answered, he said, I went to the United States of America on my own volition. Nobody took me there, and I returned also on my own volition to come to fight for freedom in my country. So, what is the enjoyment in the US when millions of my countrymen and women are living miserable lives? I think our convictions are different, and that's what makes many to think that living in the US is enjoyable. I want to live in a Nigeria that is free, prosperous, and peaceful. That will be real enjoyment for me and other citizens, not living in a foreign land perpetually. Now, Yoruba Nation crusader Sunday Igboho and the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, are being held along others involved in the agitation for self-determination. Okay, a question was asked. They asked Sowore, like, okay, what do you think the federal government should do to end this agitation? And just, if you can still very, very much remember, Sunday Igboho was on, on his way to Germany, in the Republic of Benin, that's in Cotonou, where he was arrested, let me say illegally, and was detained. And the federal government of Nigeria could not do anything about it. Well, it is well. So Sowore said they must be released immediately. The government should apologize to them and pay compensation to them for the humiliation and denial of their human rights. It is their right to seek self-determination, and the Nigerian state has no right to arrest, detain, or oppress them. The best they can do is to call for dialogue. The government is only running in circles, thinking that the detention of Igbo or Khan would quench the agitation the same way that they felt that arresting and detaining will stop the agitation for a revolution. But it came in a different manner through the NSAS protest a year later. It is well. Many people lost their lives in the NSAS protests at Lekki. That is another story for another day. That's another story for another day. The government should invite all aggrieved persons and groups to a roundtable to discuss the future of Nigeria, because the use of force cannot make or keep anyone to become or remain a citizen of Nigeria. Only justice can do that. And without justice, even if you kill Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu, or myself, Omoyele Sowore, more battalions would show up. And there is nothing the government can do about it, because you cannot continue to beat a child and dictate to them how they would cry. That's coming from the former presidential aspirants and let me say the huge and dynamic human rights activist. But I believe something will be done. Kanu's case has been in court since last year. Has been in court, and even Sunday Igboho. It's just funny that the federal government, they never do anything concerning matter. A citizen of Nigeria arrested in Benin Republic, no offense, and they decided to detain him. And my Yoruba people will say Julowo no, and I believe something is happening, but I can't just start talking there, so they won't find me. They don't go find me. Come, I beg you. Thank you very much. My name is K1lling, the King himself, and this is G Dynamic. Wait for more gist. If you are new on this channel, please click on subscribe. Just a sec, and then please click on the notification bell. You go need them, so you will be not go notified when we post new content. Now, waiting you need. I love you. Thank you very.